Hey friends, it's Simone. I'm here to share a swatch with friends video. This time I'm swatching inks from Casey. She sent over 11 samples, I think, a whole lot, and it took me a long time to swatch those, but I sped the video up and I'm really excited to share all those inks. They're beautiful and I want to use many of those in my ink rotation for May. That's why I'm finally sharing this video with you, so you can actually see what these inks look like when they are swatched. If you are new here, my name is Simone or Simone. I am sharing all the things that I love on YouTube, mostly fountain pens, inks, but also some journal videos, and I quarterly update you on my planners and journals and how that is going. When I'm swatching, then I'm swatching on 52 GSM Tomoe River paper. The insert that you see here is a personal size. I am on my last page right here, and I'm switching into a different journal for the second half of the video. It's also 52 GSM paper, and they're both from Paper Penguin Co. I really enjoy their quality of notebooks, so I'm a repeat customer over there. Then I also swatch my inks on coloring cards from the Well-Appointed Desk. I have since switched to making my own swatch cards, and I switched the way that I'm swatching the inks on the cards. But since this video was filmed quite a while ago, this is still the same way that I have done it since I started swatching on these cards. The first ink that I'm swatching is a really lovely orange color. It is Dominant Industry Earl Grey Tea. This is a color that I can see myself owning a bottle of. If you've been watching me for a while, you know exactly that I try to not purchase ink bottles. I'm really excited about trying new inks, new colors most of the time. And I'm hesitant to purchase a bottle that I then have to use instead of just getting samples so that I can get all the shiny new samples that I see other people use and try those instead of being bound to specific bottles of inks that I then either amass and not find a use for because I have so much, or I tend to feel very guilty about not using the things that are in my stash. So by limiting the amounts of ink bottles that I have, I'm mainly limiting the amount of stress that I feel that is connected to my hobby. And I don't really want to feel stressed about these things because I really enjoy all of this. And by taking away stresses that I already know I would feel, I'm helping myself enjoy this more. I do see a benefit in having bottles, which is really not selfish at all. I love receiving samples from friends, but the fact that I don't have a lot of ink bottles limits the amount of inks that I can send out. And so I'm thinking of a way to be able to accommodate that. I don't know if that's the right verb for this, but maybe I will buy my top favorite inks of the year so that I can then send out samples to friends. Like, here, I'm sending you all of those samples because these are my favorite inks of the year. Something like that. I don't know. The second ink that I was swatching was Birmingham Pen Co. Boysenberry. You saw me swatch or write with a fountain pen. That was a Lamy All-Star that I received as a white elephant gift in the beginning of the year, and I filled it at the meetup that I was with Birmingham Pen Co. Boysenberry. And so Casey sent it to me because she said that often Birmingham inks are not consistent throughout their lots, and so she sent it to me so that I would be able to compare it. And also, it's a really, really pretty purple color. The next one that I am using is, or swatching, is Birmingham Pen Co. as well. It's Cold Steel. It's a really dark blue-black, and it releases so much ink from the dip pen. And my guess is that it's a very wet ink, and that's why it's releasing a lot of ink when I put it in the dip pen from my brass nib. I have received lots of interesting comments recently about using the dip pen and why it doesn't behave exactly the same with different inks. So someone suggested it would be now I feel like I won't be able to retell it as well because I almost didn't understand what they were telling me. Something with electrostatic things, and then the ink would come off the brass nib faster or more easily than with others. And somebody else said, what was the other thing? I don't remember. So, however, I do feel like most of the time I'm swatching using the brass nib in exactly the same way. So I rinse it with water. I then dry it on my rag next to me on the right side. And then for the next color, I dip it in, and then I actually brush it off. Like I wipe it off. Some people suggest not to do that because then you won't have a lot of ink on the nib. But if I do it exactly the same way, I feel like I would be able to see what happens with the different inks, if that makes sense. Yeah, so the one that I just talked through was another Birmingham Pen Co. color. It's horseradish mustard. It dried on the Tomoe River paper in a very grayish hue. And since I filmed this video, I have started a color comparison book where I compare colors of the very same color family or that look very, very, very similar. And I also do a chromatography strip. And Birmingham Pen Co. horseradish mustard has gray elements in it, color dye in it. And so maybe that's the reason why some of these colors that are you often look a bit dusky, dry gray on Tomoe River paper. I'm not 100% sure if that's a valid theory as well, but that might be the reason. I'm also not 100% sure that I will enjoy using this color because it's very light, and in recent ink rotations, I have every experience with a light color wasn't great. Partly it was my fault. Partly it's the color. It's just it's not bold enough for me. So I'm not sure if this ink will be included in my rotation this month. Talking about May and possibly June. So yeah, we will see. It would be definitely, if you look at all the colors at the end, it would definitely be a lighter, as I said, color, and maybe it's dark enough. Maybe if I put it in a pen that is broad enough, I would enjoy it. I'm not sure. Then next, so this is Mont Blanc James Purdy and Sons single malt. It is a scented ink, and you can actually smell it. And it is a really lovely orange with a darker, more into the reddish brown shading, and it's super nice. It's if I compare it to the Earl Grey tea, it's a little bit darker, more towards leaning towards the browns, but yeah, it's still really pretty. There will be another orangey ink included in this swatching, so I am going to, I think I said I was going to ink up 10 of those inks. Makes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 of those colors, and I want to not ink up 3 pens with 3 inks. That's kind of, I feel like, a bit excessive with 3 oranges. I mean, yeah, I would ink up 3 pens with 3 inks. Simone, stop rambling. But all of the colors that will be on this page are so beautiful and so pretty. I can see this is such a beautiful color palette. You just wait and see and watch until the end, my friends. So this is Colorverse Space Leica, and it is a very dark brown that leans red, and I love it. I really like it. I want to see it in a pen. Can't wait. I can't wait to use it. I haven't you will hear this in another video as well, but for May, I think I already have 2 or 3 ideas, but I think I want to start with the inks and then pick the pens accordingly. I do know that I want to use cold steel or so, the really blue color with my Platinum 3776. I have had a really bad run with the inks that I put in here, and because this seems so wet, I hope it can redeem itself by just being an enjoyable writing experience. I need that with this pen next time around. And so instead of putting it away and telling myself that it just wasn't going to happen, I want to re-ink it again knowingly with a wet ink, so that I just have a better feeling about the pen when I put it aside for a while. I don't even know if I'm going to put it aside, because actually, let me tell you what color this is. This is Van Diemen's Rita Hayworth Locks. And the only reason why I picked that ink was because of the name. I have no idea if that is a famous person or what it actually means. Maybe it's the color of their hair. I should have done some research, but I just liked the name, and so I decided, you know what? I'll pick it and have a look at it. And I remember, yes, so about the inks that I was going to tell you that I will be inking up in May, I have picked one ink that is not from this batch of swatches, and this ink looked really dry when I put it onto the swatch card. So I think what I want to do is ink up 10 pens, 1 ink from a different batch, and then 9 from here. So that would mean I need to exclude, if this is 11, I need to exclude 3 inks. Ew, that's going to be hard. Well, I will film a full video about that and let you be part of that decision-making process. But I just wanted to hint at something that you are going to see soonish. I am filming these videos, not these that I do a voiceover, but more the ones that are the currently inked, the ink review, the ink rotation, like all of those. Most of the time I film them 1 week or 1.5 weeks in advance, because it just gives me a little bit more time time to edit if something happens with that I don't know about. It gives me time. I know it doesn't really matter because if something happens and I don't get to editing, I'm just not going to have a video. But this feels really comfortable for me. I always have a video ready to go the week that I'm after I filmed, I'm editing the videos, and then the next week they're coming out. So there's a lot of time for me to think about what I want to tell you and all of that. But it also means that I am already living 2 weeks in advance. And so I am spoiling something for you right now, which is 2 videos that I made. A fountain pen wish list video is coming up soon, and then the currently inked review as well. They both started a thinking process in my brain where I decided that I actually can let go of some of the pens that I thought I couldn't. And so in the last week, I sold 7 pens and 1 nib. Yep. That's so many pens. So now I'm like, wow, I don't have a lot of pens left that I can ink. I mean, I do have a bit more than 20, but I'm closer to my 20 pen, near and dear to my heart ink pens list than I thought I would be. I'm not going to say that it's going to stay that way, and it's still more than 20 pens, but yeah, that happened really fast. I did, however, use the money that I received for the pens to buy a pen that is extremely expensive. I'll share that with you soon as well. But let me quickly run through the inks that I swatched while I was chatting about those things. The Papier Plume Desire is a really nice, very laid back magenta-y purpley magenta. I would classify it as a magenta, but it's really nice because it's not bold and in your face, very laid back, very dusky as well. It seemed dry, so I hope I can pair it with a pen that is wet enough for this ink. The next one was Pelikan Edelstein Appetite. It's very bold, very bright, and yeah, it looks very wet. And again, I think I want to ink both the Robert Oster Morning Mist that is right below and the Appetite, because I feel like they are both different enough to justify being inked in the same rotation. So I sold 7 pens, all due to the fact that what I learned about my pens, my preferences in the month of April, which I will talk about in the currently inked review, and also due to the fact that I made this wish list video where I more explored what I liked. I thought about it a little bit more. I revamped a list that I started, I think, in December, and talked about each one of those to see if they're actually still, if they should stay on that list or not. And it led to the selling of those pens. And yeah, and I really, it was such an easy, once I was there at that my thought process led me to, well, I could let go of these pens. And so I decided to do that. They sold in a day. I sent them out. I did not feel any regret at all. And I think that's exactly how it's supposed to be. I'm really glad. This last ink is Kobe number 34 Surakuen Tea Green. And it's a really dark green. It's one of those greens that I don't usually use. And again, I cannot wait to use this in a pen. Thank you so much for watching. I really enjoyed chatting to you today. I hope to see you soon. Also, if you've been watching until now, thank you so much for using the Atlas Stationers affiliate link that is in the description box below. I cannot say enough how grateful I am to all of you who use it. It's Simone10 for 10% off your order. Unfortunately, not all brands allow discounts, so not every brand is going to be included in that, but everything else is going to be 10% off. Thanks so much for watching. I hope to see you soon. Until then, bye.